In Arizona, where in Pima County, which includes Tucson, they updated their count in the last hour or two, beginning with a Senate race between Democratic incumbent Mark Kelly and Blake Masters. Kelly at 51.58. He has increased his lead a bit there over Blake Masters with 46.27%. That's with 80% reporting. And in the gubernatorial race between Republican Kari Lake and Democrat Katie Hobbs, you now see Hobbs increasing her lead by, again, just a little bit there, 49.5 for Lake to 50.5 for Hobbs, again, with 80% reporting. Still too close to call based on what's still to come. Now to Nevada, where literally the numbers have just changed. That state's critical Senate seat, incumbent Democrat Catherine Cortez Masto has moved up a bit with some of the numbers from Las Vegas coming in. 47.73%. She's now within a point and a half. She'd been down by a 2+ to Adam Laxalt, the Republican challenger there, with 91 or 92%, I think it is now, reporting. Look, I understand sometimes the counting process can take time, but I do remain perplexed and confused about why some jurisdictions take so much longer to count their votes. It's not fraud, it's not malfeasance, but I think it's important for us to understand what it is and why. I mean, take Nevada, where Democratic incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto and Adam Laxalt, the former Attorney General who helped lead Donald Trump's efforts to overturn Nevada's presidential election results in 2020, have been waiting for the results to come in for a couple days, as we just showed you, the numbers there in the battle that have been counted. Now, we're going on 2 days post-election here, and I guess the question is, we understand that in Arizona, they have a particular way of counting their votes. They also had some problems early on. But here in Nevada, why are they, for example, not at 97% already? Of the remaining 8% of Nevada's outstanding vote, they largely come from Clark County, home to Las Vegas, tends to lean Democrat. Many of the votes yet to be counted are from ballots that were mailed in or put in drop boxes, which also traditionally skew Democrat, which is what is making this a little tough to call. And what takes so long about counting votes from drop boxes? Why does it take so long? Are they still waiting for postmarked votes to come in, or are they waiting to count them? And for those like me who want to better understand why this is taking so long, which we'll get to in a moment, it makes you wonder why anyone in the state would want the process to take longer, but they do. In Nye County today, they're counting by hand as if it were a gigantic student council president election. And as far as a target date as to when the counting will be complete, according to the county clerk, Mark Kampf, the county will be completed by November 17th. He said, "I'd appreciate any Nevada registered voter to step up, help us achieve our goal. We may need to work on the weekend, extra time beyond the standard 4 hours to tally all the batches." November 17th. Another week. How did we get to this point? It's because Nye has become sort of a mecca of an election denialism and the crusade against voting machines. This, despite all the evidence pointing to the fact that voting machines are more trustworthy and effective than counting ballots by hand. What's odd, though, is you have many election deniers who are calling for the election results to come in and fast. Okay, I understand that. But you can't then also ask for hand counts, which are less reliable and take longer. Nye County has become one of the first jurisdictions in the country to take legislative action on these conspiracy theories related to distrust in voting machines. So hand counting is in Nye. I'll ask questions about, even maybe complain about, certain election results taking a long time. But those who wanted the hand counts better not. Joining us now is Jacob Solis, reporter for the Nevada Independent, who's covering the Nevada Senate race there. Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so just overview question. Why is this taking so long?
Yeah, well, it's really by design. In 2020, Democrats in the state legislature, because of the pandemic, decided to create universal mail-in balloting. And because of that, they created sort of these extended deadlines. So anyone who gets their ballot postmarked in the mail by November 8th, that can be counted through this Saturday. And if anyone has any issues with the signature on that ballot, that can be remedied up through next Monday. And because people can same-day register in Nevada, those people are issued provisional ballots. And to make sure that those people don't double vote, the Secretary of State doesn't actually release those provisional ballots until the Wednesday following Election Day. So these timelines are all baked into state law, and that's really the crux of why this is taking so long.
And what do you make, what is the betting right now based on where the numbers are and where the votes are coming from as to who the favorite is now in Nevada in the Senate race?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. So, both candidates are quite confident with where they are. Obviously, Laxalt is still in the lead, and his camp has been saying for a few days now that, they don't think that the margins in Clark are going to be enough to lift Cortez Masto over the edge. Conversely, Cortez Masto has said, or rather her team has said that the Clark County ballots are going to be for Democrats, right? They're going to be something like 2-to-1 for Democrats, and that's going to push her over the edge once they're all counted. Now, there are tens of thousands of ballots still left to count across both Clark County with Las Vegas and Reno and Washoe County up north, and so it really could come down to the end here.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.